both of which you resist. You cannot terrestrialize into that flying type to get the stab boost on the acrobatics. Pretty confident his King Gambit could survive that acrobatics and fire off one more Iron Head to win the game. So a really expertly played game from Kazuki.
I mean, it might have been a roll-on if an acrobatics crit could have done it,
yep.
which might have been that, but also you do at least get the information of how much that acrobatics does,
yes.
which could be helpful.
That is valuable.
You know, I mean, the King Gambit, it's not holding any sort of item that's going to boost its defenses or in any way. You know,
yeah.
It's holding safety goggles, which is interesting to see because you really don't really need that this game, you know?
Right.
So it's the fact that King Gambit still had to come. We didn't get a spot, we didn't get the spicy pick.
I know.
Which is okay. I get it. I'm not, you know, I'm not too heartbroken. Maybe you kind of prep and have that in the, you know, when you have something like that in team preview, you assume the other trainer preps hard for a game 1, turn 1, and then maybe you can bring it a little later. It could be a game 3 pick, depending on how game 2 goes. But I mean, I'd love to see it.
I would too. I think the issue is that Tyranitar is a pretty good stat to his Pathra. It does have the Dazzling Gleam, so it's able to damage it in some way. But you would need a lot of Calm Minds to get some meaningful damage after that Tyranitar with the Dazzling Gleam. I think there's kind of a push and pull between the Espathra and the Dondozo too, because Dondozo does have that unaware, and Espathra's whole MO is boosting its stats. Except you don't ignore the speed boost, so you're still going to be attacking first with that Espathra. And even though your boosted special attack won't matter if you're using the stored power, it's not going to use the special attack stat, this base power will still be increasing. It's not going to ignore, so like a stored power into Dondozo is not going to be just that base 20 power, it will have that increased power. And so you're not getting the special attack boost, but you're getting the stored power.
That'll be the shock taking point 1. Anything you want to see the Titans switch up here? Or you think you just keep running with this same Ramatra-based setup?
I actually like the Ramatra-based setup. I think they made a couple of mistakes just going a little bit too early, as you said earlier, Matt, just walking into the pressure of the shock, especially going into this control center point. It's known for the brawl compositions. Narrow corridors, it's going to be very easy to play this Ramatra, get these punches, and you're actually going to see the mirror coming out from the shock. I don't believe we've seen Junbin play this Ramatra so far. It's usually Max who's been on it.
Yeah, and it looks like the TP comes out. It'll be Frapper on the Bastion. So we'll get a little May Bastion set up here from the shock. We talked a little bit, we got to see some Bastion the other day, you and I. The wheels mode, he just pumps out so much damage.
What's he doing?
Makes it difficult. Yeah, I mean, a little sneaky. A little flank Bastion action. Oh, nice Maywall there. So it looks like he just gets knocked out of the way, but Punk has to be so careful, avoid so much of that damage, and even though it takes a huge hit, and they're gonna have to back out, and that'll be the shock taking the point.
Yeah, the wheels mode on the Bastion is just so much damage, and Punk has to respect this one. Great wall to isolate Aspire out of this fight, because Punk's just going to get isolated. He's used the Nemesis form, but he's under so much pressure from just the sheer amount of damage. Coming from that Bastion, and that'll be another fight win for the San Francisco Shock.
Yeah, and I feel like the Bastion, at least in my opinion, would love to hear yours, is like, it's really difficult to like now push into the Bastion, right? Because where, you know, you're kind of in that like 50-50 setup where, you know, both teams having to like kind of move forward, take position. The Bastion could be like caught out a little bit easier there. Now as you're moving into them, it allows Proper to kind of set up wherever he wants, right? Gather the information of where they're coming from. and then make the right call on where to go.
And on the other hand, Sugar Free, he's just trying to lurk around in the background, but you can see the Shock just aren't going to give him any time to get any space. They're going to go aggressive. They've dropped the amplification matrix, but Finn is getting very low, having to drop that, and Junbin getting over-aggressive without the rest of his team. And the Shock just kind of another misfire on their aggression, and the Vancouver Titans are punishing it, as you can see Sugar Free just one by one taking names of the players on the Shock.
Yeah, Sugar Free makes a nice play here, but I also want to shout out Aspires. He actually goes on a little bit of a flank over by the high ground on the outside, and he shoots that dragon like back towards the backside of the Shock, and I don't think they expect it. They have to use the Immortality Field pretty early there, and then that allows kind of Sugar Free and him to just shoot from the side and flank from behind as everybody else from the Titans is able to stay alive. But 66% on the point here for San Francisco. Maybe we'll get to see the Bastion ult in action. It's even with some changes recently, right, where it comes down faster, I still think pretty easy to avoid, especially at this level of play. But that's going to be Aspire, deals with Proper first, so probably not even a chance to get that off, as that's just an amplification matrix there from Crimzo, which allows the Vancouver Titans to win this fight.
He said gets one on the way out as he's standing still, which you don't expect to see, but that didn't really feel like a well thought out plan by the Shock. They just sort of walked up hoping to be able to get the space so they can eventually drop the Blizzard, but the Titans with the amplification matrix just evaporate them before they can even do anything. So maybe a little bit more proactive here from the Shock, trying to get the Blizzard down, but early Dragon by Aspire is going to put them at the front of this team fight again. As you can see, Junbin is just taking so much damage. Finn's amplification matrix comes down, and that's a lot of damage.
That is a double kill with a grenade there from Proper, as I wonder, the Ant Matrix is up there. He must have just shot that like through the Ant Matrix or something. Would love to see a replay of that. That is a fantastic play. It allows the Shock to take the point back, killing both supports right away. That is something that obviously Crimson Base didn't expect to come on through. Is the Titans getting the point back first. He's saying he'll end up using his Blizzard here. It's Punk thinking about maybe using the Annihilation. Now as players get close, he's going to end up using it. As Faith drops the sound barrier there for the Titans. Didn't really see a ton of value, as still may not even matter, as the Titans still have some players here left on the point. Junbin here, Vindayam as well for the Shock, but they'll end up falling in the end, and the Titans will get the flip.
Yeah, Punk pretty much uses that Annihilation to just live long enough against the damage from Proper on that Bastion, and it works. The rest of the team is able to clean everything up and the Shock fall over, as final fight territory here for both sides. Proper has the artillery strike that is very hard to get value from at this level, but Aspire with another Dragon has usually been using it early to dictate the fight. Look at him to do that once again.
Here we go. AC 130 inbound. He's waiting.
Here we go.
He's waiting.
Boom, boom, boom. And usually the strategy is to do exactly that.
Okay, the Immortality Field, but he still gets one. He still gets the Hanzo.
And then you can see with that damage from the Shock, just forces the backline into a bad position, gets Aspire. That's great sort of recognition of how to get value with that Bastion ultimate. The first time I think I've ever seen such a serious amount of value coming from a Bastion, and the San Francisco Shock will close out Lijiang Tower, looking a lot better than they have in their last couple of series.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were mentioning like how good Aspire had been, right? On the Hanzo, like right before that. So, and he was taking a lot of really off angles, putting a lot of pressure on Proper. Proper gets like a far bit of distance, right? So you're not able to kind of like hear or even see the Bastion, where that's coming from, as we look at some highlights from the course of the first map. But man, that kill there onto the Hanzo was massive with that artillery at the end. That is something I don't think anybody expects.
And waiting until the last moment has its benefits, like you just saw with that Bastion ultimate, because the longer it goes on, it's like a Junkrat tire. You just get more and more fearful of it the longer it goes. And you can see, recognizes that that's the way that Aspire is going to go. So great play of the Bastion, and really showing the value of this pick, and sort of highlighting that it's not as much of a cheese niche pick as it once was.
All right, well, the Shock obviously trying to keep themselves alive here in this tournament. They win this first map 2-0. Really interested to see where the Titans take us next. Scott, where would you go if you're the Vancouver?
Oh, we've seen Vancouver liking to play a lot of Hollywood. I feel like we've seen them on that map a bunch. And I think moving San Francisco Shock into a situation where they're feeling less comfortable, maybe Hollywood where, yeah, I think Hollywood's just a good choice because San Francisco Shock have been weak on that map. They don't have a great plan for it. I want to see them go there.
Well, Scott thinks Hollywood. We'll find out what the Titans think after this quick break.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Scuttle, any idea what this is?
Oh, humans use these babies to style their hair. You just give it a little twirl, a little yank, you might get some pieces with it.
Disney's The Little Mermaid, rated PG, in theaters May 26th.
is a generational talent. He's going to be in this league for a long time.
Look at this guy. He's running down Bernard. Then he just charges the Sigma.
Completely uncontested, tearing through. Coming on!
Endo tried his best, but it's not going to be enough. Finn is feeling himself. Look at him.
Chat, that only affects him. Rampage going to catch on a 2-point tail him. Proper is there. Oh, my.
Squarespace?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Well, as expected yesterday, the floodgate absolutely opened up for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, with the games leaking all over the place, and now it looks like Nintendo has their work cut out for them over the next 10 days. We'll talk about that here today. Also, we are going to be taking a look at Redfall, with reviews actually going live a bit early at times yesterday, and all kinds of footage leading to some questions for the latest Xbox release. And we'll also be taking a look at Sony in a recent interview, talking a bit more about their live service games. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button, helps out a ton. And if new here to the Spawnwave channel, make sure you subscribe down below as we head towards 700,000 subscribers. And we're gonna be starting today with Star Wars Jedi Survivor, as we had some new information released around a recent patch, which we can see this posted up over on Twitter from the Star Wars Jedi Survivor EA account, where they have two different patches laid out here. The first one went live actually on the 1st, with the other one going live today, May 2nd, and that's for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. And there's quite a list of stuff here, which goes over things like the crashes that people were experiencing, and that was pretty frustrating, obviously, to just randomly be kicked out of the game. And that was one of my biggest sticking points at the time for Cyberpunk over anything else. And in this case, they also had to fix issues with different bugs for certain visual effects not displaying correctly, and even performance being mentioned here, and image quality. So I am curious to see what kind of effect we have here, but that's the biggest situation right now, is that the first impression has been made and people are choosing to kind of sit this one out for now. I even noticed that on Amazon, the game actually went down in price about $10 with a flash sale or a coupon that was applied. Wario64 was tweeting about that one. So it's just, Jedi Survivor has its work cut out for it now after the initial reviews and stuff that went live talking about this. It's an uphill battle here for Respawn. Also, we know a very important studio for Nintendo is Monolith Soft. While they do make Xenoblade, and they've certainly made quite a few of them this generation so far with the Switch, they also run support on all other projects for Nintendo, and very important ones like Breath of the Wild and soon to be Tears of the Kingdom. So it's no surprise to see that they're actually raising salaries at the company. You can see this posted up over on their website, saying they'll be raising the basic salary April 2023, pointing out the starting salary even for new graduates increasing by about 22%, but also significant increases across the board for those basic salaries. And they do point out price increases in general, with inflation as being one of the big driving forces here. But overall, just again, retaining talent, especially at a studio like Monolith Soft that is so core and integral for Nintendo's plans, certainly going up to their next generation, is, I think, very important. Monolith Soft has easily proven themselves time and time again, and, you know, I'm very curious to see what Monolith Soft can do with Nintendo's next offering, next platform, because every time Nintendo shows up with a system, whether it's the Wii, the Wii U, or the Switch, Monolith Soft stretches that system to its limits and shows us things that we didn't think would be possible. And I think they're going to do it again, while in a more supportive role with Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, and here's a bit of a strange story. We know Twitter with Twitter Blue allows people to upload video clips, I think up to an hour long. Well, now we're starting to see copyrighted work show up, and in fact, the other day, you can see this posted up by Paul Tassi over on Forbes, the entire Super Mario Bros. Movie was just posted. Now, from what I could tell, because I even saw it show up, I was like, this seems odd that it's just here. It was in two different tweets, because it was like an hour long, and then there was like 40 some odd minutes. minutes or something. It looked like it was like a cam recording of the movie theater, but the person just said, hey, you know what, here's the whole Super Mario Bros. Movie. And in fact, it accumulated 9 million views on Twitter before it was pulled down. It's just not really something you would expect when you go.
Let me tell you a story about a beer.
On Twitter, and obviously with the Super Mario Bros. Movie being incredibly popular, and Nintendo and Illumination, trust me, being very vigilant, we'll say, with those copyright takedowns. Surprising to see it up there for so long, but I guess that's just another thing to be wary of, with Twitter allowing just seemingly hour or so of footage per tweet, and it kind of being the Wild West right now. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I had mentioned yesterday that I had reason to believe that the game was being dumped online, and seemingly after the news wave went live, it was probably like an hour or two later, there was a mad scramble online, as yes, the game was just available for people to download and plug into emulators or on their hacked Switches, and it spread like a wildfire online. I mean, seriously, people were posting images and videos and all kinds of stuff around the game that still has another 10 days before it comes out, and it was popping up online with places like VGC here, where they say The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has leaked online nearly 2 weeks ahead of its official release date. And I had some people messaging me over and over again on Twitter and social media, letting me know that it is, I mean, it is all over the place. Private Discord channels were posting up images of this, even impressions already of people trying out the game, and it was even being streamed a couple of times throughout the day yesterday, whether it was on Twitch or on YouTube. Nintendo seemed to get involved, but it took like an hour or so. I mean, there are people who were just watching the entire opening series of the game, and yeah, a lot of it was being spoiled. Like, it just outright was, hey, look, there's the opening to the game. Here are these little details we continue to review through this footage, before Nintendo finally showed up and had the stream pulled down. But it doesn't stop there, as more and more people continue to stream this game. Full playthroughs are probably going to be available before the game hits store shelves May 12th officially. And because this is one of the most anticipated games of the year, and in some cases, the most anticipated game of the entire Switch generation, it's no surprise that it's getting this kind of interest online. It is a little surprising to me that it got out there this early. I figured it might get out there, say, the week of release. So when it's coming out on the 12th, maybe by, I don't know, the 8th or the 9th, it would find its way online. But seemingly after those Mercari images and listings started to appear, and I guess they got shipped out, all of a sudden we did start seeing it kind of pop up online and get dumped from a physical cartridge. Doesn't necessarily mean it was from that Mercari listing, although there are some weird things going on there too. People are saying that some listings are being canceled now, and it's some odd things there. It wouldn't shock me though if Nintendo realized what was happening and tried to sort out a warehouse leak of some kind. But generally, when one thing like that happens, hard to believe it's not finding its way out the back door other places. Now, while there is an entire story and lore, obviously, that can be spoiled, I guess the one positive here is most of the stuff in something like Tears of the Kingdom that we've been looking forward to is more the gameplay and the mechanics, not necessarily the entire narrative. Again, while that's interesting, I think people are excited to try to build all kinds of crazy contraptions in Tears of the Kingdom and probably skydive over and over again. But still, having the final boss and potentially other events and twists in the game spoiled would be pretty frustrating. So I'm going to give you that big warning, of course. Be careful out there on Twitter, YouTube, other places, as people are trying to spoil this game even in the replies for different Zelda tweets. And you know what? That's most likely going to happen to Nintendo, and I'm curious how they deal with that. Do they turn off replies? Do they start trying to copyright strike any images that are appearing on Twitter? I guess we'll see, because Nintendo, they got a ways to go before release day. Next up, let's talk about a positive update for Xbox, which I'll admit has been kind of difficult to find over the last several weeks. But one thing that people have been kind of frustrated with is the direction of the dashboard, as you have these really cool dynamic backgrounds, but Microsoft's been sort of working in the direction of covering that up with all kinds of advertisements and larger than necessary tiles for your different games. And now there appears to be a new dashboard that's going to be fixing some of that, and you can see this posted up over on news.xbox.com. This is currently in sort of their alpha skip ahead and alpha rings program, so some people do have this if they're opted in. Otherwise, this will eventually get out to the official updates, but you can see the image of it, and they basically shrank most of those icons for your games outside of the one all the way to the left that you're most likely playing at that time. And that way you can get a nice shot of your dynamic background, which is great. They do still have advertising in the bottom, which you can see like the Elite controller. You can see one for Game Pass with Hi-Fi Rush down there. And they weren't going to eliminate the advertisements because obviously they probably work. It's right there when you turn your Xbox on. I was just always more frustrated, as many other people were, with things like the Halo Infinite dynamic background, which was really cool at the time, being completely covered. Even right now I have still that reactor one set up that it's a callback to the original X, completely covered up. So really happy to see them going in this direction, which more or less mirrors several of those mock-ups that went over a couple weeks ago. So for now, if you want to check out the new dashboard, you would just have to opt in through the Xbox Insiders program. Otherwise, hang tight. They'll probably be rolling this out after they make sure there's no major bugs or anything through testing. Next up, let's talk about Redfall, which was certainly talked about a lot yesterday online, and it's kind of felt like a sloppy rollout. Overall, there seemed to be confusion with embargo timing to where reviews were just getting posted up early, whether it was on YouTube or on different websites, or even just impressions being given on Twitter. It was all over the place. And in fact, Xbox or Bethesda, Microsoft, somebody was out there copyright striking and knocking out tweets that had early footage of it as it could. And it even got to the point where it seemed anyway that their banner on the Redfall account was hit by a copyright strike. It was, again, weird stuff out there, but like some of it was screen captured, and by now reviews should be live. But you can see this by Paul Tassi, who said that the mixing up the 11 a.m. embargo with 11 p.m. embargo, and I actually think the embargo was set for 8 or 9 p.m. Again, it's kind of all over the place, and not a great look considering there are people who are already playing the game by changing their Xbox to New Zealand time zone. Reviews are out technically after this game really released, but AG, who's a very trusted reviewer overall, said it's one of the worst games so far in 2023. There was another one, I think by Noisy Pixel, if I'm not mistaken, that gave it like a 4 or a 5 out of 10. Yeah, it's not looking great for Redfall right now. I was hopeful that Arcane would put out a game that has good critical appeal to it, good reception, maybe hit somewhere in the 80s, because Xbox it's been going through it recently, with the big CMA block being a huge negative overall for the company and the brand. And now with one of the more anticipated titles that got delayed out of last year, seemingly having a lot of issues, and that's just outside of that 30 FPS cap with quality mode for the console. It seems like there's issue with AI, visuals, the structure of the game. There's a lot of concerns right now, and much of this is just being demonstrated through video clips online of people, yes, already playing the game before that embargo lifted. I will be checking out Redfall when it goes live. In fact, by the time you're seeing this video, I've probably already played several hours of it. I'll record some footage and give my thoughts on the opening couple of hours of the game. Again, I was very hopeful for Arcane to show up here with something interesting like a Redfall, but it's just, Xbox has really had a hard time recently. I was hoping this would at least give them a bit of a boost, but hey, we'll see when the reviews start to go live and Metacritic gets updated exactly what they have here with Redfall. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Sony, PlayStation Studios, and their big live service initiative that they continue to push along. What's up, guys?
What's the secret behind the bounce?
Has some kind of issue with that going on. Synth, Mage, even Glare. Why couldn't I say your name? I know you. Gaming Racist. Yes, we'll do some Tommy tonight too. Yeah, I mean, look, I know the rebuttal. Am I gonna have to shit? Am I gonna have to shit? I'm gonna get to the Streamlabs too. I didn't forget anything. I'm just like starting now. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to shit. So I'll do these super chats real quick. I'll get to Streamlabs. I'll empty out my bowels, and then we'll come back and listen to a man talk about how he wants to meet a virgin woman with a fart fetish that doesn't like microwaves and is Hispanic. What was his other requirement? I sent Phil a super chat saying I think he's more than proved he wasn't responsible for the current drama. I agree with what he showed and was instantly banned. There goes my membership. Fuck his mod. Rich, put a bird up my ass and pound it with a cucumber. Hammer it in. Tits.
Breasts.
Thank you. Eat my ass with a spoon, motherfucker. Tommy's not even the first credited musician to work on Sonic. It would be Johnny Gioli of the series mainstay Crush 40. Been there. Dude, he's a fucking perpetual liar with everything. He's insane. Miss Sparkles, boobies to you too as well. Rich, thank you for your streams. Phil's getting on my nerves. Can you give me breast battle followed by a cucumber battle? Yes.
Breasts. 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 Breasts.
Breasts.
Breasts. Breasts.
Cucumbers.
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 Cucumbers. Cucumbers.
Bon Clay, yes, I do have the boing. You get a free one.
Just peed in my basement.
Cucumbers. Cucumbers. Cucumbers.
Try to relax your anus, your shoulders.
All right. Let me empty my hole. Literally like 2 minutes. I didn't think I had to shit. I'd rather shit now than shit like 10 minutes in and like so. Rival Turf and Birds. Don't worry, sexy Coco.
Corona's never missed a Cinco de Mayo party. Neither should you.
I'll stay shirtless for you till like 8:20. God, I do sound like a fucking hooker. I know there's a Streamlabs. I didn't forget. Eat my ass with a spoon. I remember doing that one. Tommy's not even the first credited. That one I read too. Rich, thank you for your streams. I read all of these. I read absolutely every single one. No wants Poppy. Rich, listen. Off the back, can we do a tip donation goal for a 2 a.m. stream tonight? 2 a.m. stream. From now. I'll let you guys choose. What do you think is a fair price of me to add so I don't seem like a douchebag? But seriously. Let me see what people say. Seen a lot of 200s. No, not 500. That's fucking crazy. I'm thinking 3 because I have my kids here. Whatever Wes says. All right, you know what? 250's fair. 250's fair. 250's fair. If we reach $250 by 8:30, I will stay on until 1 a.m. Why am I cutting back? That's 5 hours. I think that's fair because my kids are here. So if we reach $250 by 8:30, we're at 66.47 now. Boom, there you go. And you guys know I'm not going to be like say we're at like $500 and I'm like, oh no, we only hit 250, whatever, $200, whatever we're gonna do. Like, I'll tell you what the accurate thing is here. So, and of course we're already at $100, so it's probably happening. We're at $108 already. Let's go, Cat on the Moon. Oh man, I'm gonna have to make motherfucking coffee tonight. Let's go, Joe Blah. Randy Voss. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, by the way. Cat. Oh. My 80-year-old grandma. Nah, not 300, man. Because you got to realize, too, like, I'm still going to get super chats while I'm streaming. So I keep that in mind, too. You know. And am I, like, excited to stay up until 1 a.m.? No, not really. But for that, I will. And I'll be entertaining. Cods, thank you for the super chat. Now we're already at 123. 123.29 to be exact. Consider this a donation to the 250. Love you, Rich. Hope your daughter's doing well. She is. She's early next week. Going to be getting out of the ICU. Rich's clap button. Where the fuck is your super chat, dude? I don't see it. Butlix, I won't even be here, but I'm supporting this. Oh, well, you still, you know, I don't take that. Did I even take down the other stream? No, it got the 18 plus. What is it called? Adults only? I don't even know what the fuck it's called. Let me look at my phone. My favorite 360 game, I would have to say Halo 3. I know that's kind of a generic one, but Halo 3. I played so fucking much of that. One of my streams got age restricted, and it sent me to the time that made it age restricted. I'm like, that's out of everything that was in that stream, it was like me looking at the bird romantically. Like, come on, dude. Like, that was what got me after manually reviewing. Like, yeah, you didn't sit there for 3 hours and watch the whole stream. Don't even tell me that. Get it? Like, I saw the whole thing, Phil, today. As much as, look, I think it was Blake316 that said this too. Like, I talk about Phil pretty much on a daily basis on these streams. I'm talking about him right now. I don't dislike Phil. And two, I don't wish him any harm. Like, there's some people that, man, you would think that he snuck into their room and fucked them in the ass while they were sleeping. Like, why do you hate this man so much that you've never met? Like, yeah, okay, I hate the quartering, but do I ever go outside of YouTube to try to do anything to the quartering? No. Like, once I leave these streams, man, I mean, I do, like, fucking trolling shit on Twitter, but that's, like, my brand. Or I took a still image of him from his fucking cranes video. Or what is these claw machines? What was these? He was trying to make a catchphrase too. What was it, like, when we go clawing? Like, dude, shut the fuck up. See, how am I missing super chats? I'm not even seeing. So, Joe Blah, thank you. We are at now 139.62. My 80-year-old grandpa cashed out of Social Security, used it to pick up 2 chicks at the local college. They are both pregnant now. Oh, stop it. You're full of shit. I can't believe that. That's too insane. Cods, thank you very much for the super chat. S1, consider this a donation to the 250. We're now at 141.62. I hope your daughter is doing well. Yeah, like I said, it's be a long road, but she's getting, but like I said, she's probably sometime, let's just say next week, she's going to be out of the ICU. She was in the ICU for fun. She's still in the ICU. What is it, like 6 weeks? It's fucking crazy, dude. Phil is live right now. Breasts.
It's Uncle Sam here. Richie, why haven't you paid your taxes yet? I need my money to support my family.
Oh, yeah. Even though here is the thing that you don't know about filing an extension. Even though if you file it, your ass better pay on the 15th or you're fucked in the ass. Don't worry, your money's coming.